Good morning, my lovely loves. How are you all doing? Good morning to you all, everyone. AG is in the place. Kat is in the place. How is everybody doing this morning? So good to see y'all. AG, where in the world are you right now? I hope you are being hope you are staying safe. I know the weather is ugly out there, down there in Georgia and North Florida, over into South Carolina. I don't know. They said some kind of weather is supposed to come to North Carolina, but I haven't seen anything except rain since yesterday. But no wind, nothing to write home about actually. But we will see. As the day progresses, you never know what might happen. So we will see. All right. This morning, guys, we are going to continue our reading from the book of Psalm. And we are on to Psalm chapter 44. Yesterday we stopped at 43. And so today we are going to be moving right along. I want to say welcome to everyone who has come into the live. For those of you who watched the readings, who listened to the readings from yesterday and the day before. And those of you who have been following us since we started. Since we started on this journey over a year ago, I want to say thanks to you for coming. I hope you all are having a great, great day. And I hope you all are enjoying the reading of the Bible as much as I am enjoying bringing it to you. Okay? Now, for those of you who are new, and we do have quite a few new people who have subscribed to the channel, I want to say thank you all so much for subscribing to the channel. I sincerely appreciate you all. And for those of you who come into the reading but are not sure what's going on here, we do not endorse any particular religion or denomination. We are simply trying to read the Bible for ourselves so that we can have an understanding of it for ourselves, considering that the Bible is so influential on just about every single aspect of our lives. So this morning we are moving on to chapter 44 of the book of Psalm. So get your book Bible or your Google Bible and follow along. It's my absolute pleasure to read the Bible with you, for you, to us. Courtian is here. Courtian, good morning to you, my love. How are you doing, darling? So good to see you. I hope you're having a great Thursday morning. Let us begin, my friends. Psalm chapter 44. And the foreword says, to the chief musician, for the sons of Korah, Mashal. AG says, getting 1 more hour sleep, went to sleep About one, but keeping you on volume. Okay, my love. I appreciate you. No problem. No problem at all. Psalm chapter 44. We have heard with our ears, O God. Our fathers have told us what work thou didst in their days, in the times of old, how thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand, and planted them, how thou didst afflict the people and cast them down. Verse 3, and we are reading chapter 44 of the book of Psalm. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but their right hand, and thine arm, and the light of thy covenants, because thou hast a favor unto them. Thou art my king, O God. Command deliverance for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that. Sometimes the grammar in the Bible is so weird. Thank you, AG. Tell them for me to thumbs up the live. Cordian says, thank you, Trev, for reading the word. You are so welcome, my love. You are welcome. It is my absolute pleasure. All right, let us do this again. We have heard with our ears, O God. Our fathers have told us what work thou didst in their days, in the times of old, how thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand, and plantest them, how thou didst afflict the people, and cast them down. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand, and thine arm, and the light of thy covenants, because thou hast a favor unto them. Thou art my king, O God. Command deliverances for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies, and hast put them to shame that hated us. In God we boast all the day long, and praise thy name forever. But thou hast cast off, and put us to shame, and goest not forth with our armies. Thou makest us to turn back from the enemy, and they which hate us spoil for themselves. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught, and dost not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. My confusion is continually before me, and the shame of my face hath covered me. For the voice of him that reproacheth and blasphemes by reason of the enemy and avenger. All this is come upon us, yet have we not forgotten thee, neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant. Our heart is not turned back, neither have our steps declined from thy way. Though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons, and covered us with the shadow of death, if we have forgotten the name of our God, or stretched out our hands to a strange God, shall not God search this out? For he showeth the secrets of the heart. Yea, For thy sake are we killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Awake, why sleepest thou, O Lord? Arise, cast us not off forever. Wherefore hidest thou thy face, and forgettest our affliction and our oppression? For our soul is bowed down to the dust, our belly cleaveth unto the earth. Verse 26, and this is the last verse of Psalm chapter 44. Arise for our help, and redeem us for thy mercy's sake. Here ends the reading of Psalm chapter 44. And there you hear the desperation there of the Jewish people, the descendants of Jacob, the remnants of the children of Israel, begging God for deliverance, begging Him to stand up for them like He did for their forefathers. Because remember, back in the time of Moses, when Moses was ordering the capture of the lands, because remember, for those of you who don't know, remember when the children of Israel got out of the wilderness of Zin after having traveled for these 40 years from Egypt, Moses started to distribute that land, before that land that was on the east, before they got across the river Jordan. Moses didn't get to go across, but the others did. And it was from then that he started to distribute land, giving lots of land to Caleb's descendants and stuff, because he said they had a lot of cattle. And he gave land to the half of Manasseh tribe on that eastern side of Jordan. The children of Israel, they said they have read and they have been told by their foreparents what God had done for them. Since they crossed the river Jordan, it has been slaughter after slaughter after slaughter. They took over Jericho through slaughter. They took over Ai, however you pronounce that country's name. It's spelled Ai. So it's I. Some people pronounce it I. They took over that entire region through wars. And they were always victorious because there were so many of them. And they were very strategic in their planning. And they attributed their success at slaughtering all these people and taking over their lands to their God being on their side. So now, in this part of their history, the kingdom of Jacob has been dismantled. It is not the ruling force in the region anymore. It's gone. All the people are separated. They're gone about their business. They are, serving other gods. There is no dominance of them at this point. And so here, the person writing this is not pleased with God. He's trying to control his temperament so that he does not offend their God. But you can read it and hear the tone that I am not pleased with you, Lord. What you did for our fathers of old, you are not doing for us. And I wonder why. Because here in verse 23, the writer says, awake, why sleepest thou, O Lord? Arise, cast us not off forever. So the person the author is is upset, he's angry. He doesn't want to blaspheme and he doesn't want to say anything that is going to cause him to blaspheme against the Lord of Israel, but he's not happy. Like, what is it? Why are you, Lord? Why are you not standing up for us like you did for our forefathers? Why aren't you casting out the enemies like you did back then? And this brings me to another thought. Have you ever heard people say, well, if it's the same God, why isn't he doing the same miracles like the Bible spoke about? Have you all ever heard that? I have heard that a million times. And I'm not exaggerating. Where people say, well, if God is the same God, and it is, don't get me wrong, it is a valid argument. If God is the same God, why is he not as present, if you will, for lack of a better word, as he had been according to the Bible for the children of Israel? Have you ever wondered that? Like, they would say, or they would just pray and something would happen, and God would answer their prayers. Yet we find that we could pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray, and it may not happen. Whatever we're praying for may not happen or may never happen. But the way the Bible is written, it presents to us as though the effects of prayer the effects are so immediate and so profound that they're undeniable. And I'm sure many of us here, or all of us here, cannot definitively say that that has been the case for us. And so it has brought us to the question of, so why do some people get their prayers answered and others do not? And why, according to the Bible in the day of old, people could communicate with God better than they can communicate now? Even though back then they were doing all these slaughterings in his name, and now that is not as pervasive as it was then. Have you ever wondered that? Because I have. Who hasn't wondered why? What has changed? And so, right here in the psalm, the author is saying to God, can you not just do for us the same thing like you did for our forefathers? We're going to continue to read because we want to know, did they ever get the answer as to why? Because as far as I know, the kingdom of Israel has not yet been reestablished. Do you know differently? Share it with me. I'd love to know. Is that what fuels the continued war in the Middle East? Think about it. The children of Israel at this point are scattered all over. Many of them are serving other gods. They are not living by the social standards the social and religious standards that were established by Moses, their forefather. These expectations of them are not are almost non-existent because they are buried in books that now the children of Israel will have to read to know their history, their religious and social history, because it is not being practiced wildly. It is not being widely being practiced in the region anymore. The people have moved on. They have moved about. They have married people who were not Jews, who didn't believe what they believed, and so their beliefs were changed or watered down. They weren't practicing. They weren't practicing they weren't practicing their religion anymore, because you have to continue to practice your religion for it to remain relevant to you and those around you. Once you move off and doing you start engaging in the activities of another society, you almost over time you forget about yours. And because yours is not being practiced, I mean, it's almost like becomes redundant. Somebody in chat says, that's a good and important question, Trev. Sometimes I ask the questions myself and I am serving God. And it is a relevant question. It is not a far-fetched question, because even here in the Psalm, the author is asking the question, God, where are you? Where are you? Why were you so present for our forefathers and not for us now? We have gone astray. The whole ideology that we have been following from the time of our forefathers, from Moses coming on down, has all been dismantled. What happened? Can you just wake up, Lord, and come and say something and do something so that we can understand what is going on? Can you just get us back together from where we were before? And I know some people might say they never know that in the Bible, God was being requested to wake up. But this is exactly how the author feels. And this is how the author expresses himself about what seems to be the absence of his God, because you notice that when the Jews speak, they speak about their God. And I'm sure if we were to read a book that was written, I've never read a book that was written by anyone. If you all know of a book, please recommend it for me. I've never read a book that somebody wrote in which they were serving these false gods from then, because there was the Jews' God, and then there were the other gods that the Jews referred to as false gods. Good morning, Joe. How are you doing? How are you doing, Joe? Good morning, my love. Good morning. Because I'm sure that those people would refer to their God as the true God, because that is what they believe in. They were not descendants of Jacob, so they did not consider themselves to be Jews. So I would love to read one of their literature and see how they referred to their God. But we are going to continue. Corinthian says, you're right, Trev, we have to continue serving God no matter what. No matter what we go through, God answering his time. Well, that too is true. And that is what is angering the author right here. It seems like his timing and God's timing are in such contrast. He just can't understand why it's taking God so long to answer his prayers, when it seemed as though God answered the prayers of his forefathers even faster. That's how it appeared, right? Because back in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, It says Moses called to God, Moses talked to God. It sounded like God was right there on Moses' shoulders. It seemed like as soon as Moses said to God, God, this is what we need. Is it okay to do this? God was right there on his shoulder saying, yes, my child, go ahead. Throw those people out of the camp. Throw out the people who have sicknesses and leprosy and everything else. Put them out of the camp. When I am in the camp, I don't want anybody who is sick in here with me. It seems that God was right there on Moses' shoulder. And they were talking back and forth with no delays. But here, this author is not understanding the delay. But let us continue. Let us say welcome to everybody who was coming to the live. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button and share out this live stream. If you are just coming into the live stream or just coming into my channel, please be aware that we do not endorse any particular religion or denomination. We are presenting ourselves like blank slates, reading the Bible for ourselves, because I believe it is pertinent for every person who believes that they are a Christian, who calls themselves a Christian and claim to follow the Holy Bible. I believe it is imperative that you read the Bible at least once in your lifetime so you know its content. You can't be following a book and preaching a book and all when you only know one chapter. When you only know one chapter of that book. Can't be. Can't be. Hold on there, guys. Hold on there, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Well, not sure, but we'll move right along. All right, let us continue, guys. We are going to move on to Psalm chapter 45. Follow along in your book Bible or your Google Bible. Oh, my word. Psalm chapter 45. The foreword says, to the chief musician upon Shoshanim, for the sons of Korah, Mashil, a song of loves. My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. Thou art fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into thy lips. Therefore, God hath blessed thee forever. Gird thy sword upon thy thigh, O most mighty, with thy glory and thy majesty. And in thy majesty ride prosperously because of truth and meekness and righteousness, and thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. Thine arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies, whereby the people fall under thee. Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. The sceptre of thy kingdom is a right sceptre. Thou lovest righteousness and hateth wickedness. Therefore God, thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. All thy garments smell of myrrh, and aloes, and cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made thee glad. Kings' daughters were among thy honorable women. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen in gold of Ophir. Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline thine ear. Forget also thine own people, and thy father's house. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift. Even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor. The king's daughter is all glorious within. Her clothing is of wrought gold. She shall be brought unto the king in raiment of needlework. The virgins, her companions, that follow her, shall be brought unto thee. With gladness and rejoicing shall they be brought. They shall enter into the king's palace. Instead of thy fathers shall be thy children, whom thou mayst make princes in all the earth. Verse 17, and this is the last verse of chapter 45. I will make thy name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever. Here ends the reading of Psalm chapter 45. Once again, I want to say welcome to each and every one of you. Welcome into the morning live. I want to say thanks to you all for coming in. I sincerely appreciate you, and I hope you all are following along in your book Bible and your Google Bible. And those of you who have been deliberate in your efforts in teaching, in preaching and teaching the Bible. As I read, you go ahead and make your notes for your next sermon. Make your notes. Because a lot of people would love to be able to read the entire Bible, but they just can't be bothered. And I can understand. I can understand. And a lot of people don't read not just the Bible, they don't read, period, just because they can't be bothered, because to them it appears to be a boring endeavor to sit there and just call words. So if you don't want to have to be bothered with reading it yourself, come on over. I will read it for us. And while I read, you make the notes in your Bible. Let us move right along. How did I tie this up like this? You know, sometimes I lost my mind a little bit. I have to repeat. All right, let us move right along. Psalm chapter 46. And Psalms chapter 46, the foreword says, to the chief musician for the sons of Korah, a song upon Alamoth. Psalm chapter 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord. What desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease upon the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow, and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burns the chariot in the fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. Verse 11. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Here ends the reading of Psalm chapter 46. And we are going to move on to Psalm chapter 47. Oh, clap your hands, all ye people. Shout unto God with the voice of triumph. For the Lord Most High is terrible. He is a great king over all the earth. He shall subdue the people under us, and the nations under our feet. He shall choose our inheritance for us, the excellency of Jacob, whom he loved. God is gone up with a shout, the Lord with the sound of a trumpet. Sing praises to God, sing praises unto our King. Sing praises, for God is the King of all the earth. Sing ye praises with understanding. God reigneth over the heathen. God sitteth upon the throne of his holiness. Verse 9, and this is the last verse of chapter 47. The princes of the people are gathered together, even the people of the God of Abraham, for the shields of the earth belong unto God. He is greatly exalted. Here ends the reading of Psalm chapter 47. And as we move along, we will be reading Psalm chapter 48. Welcome again, guys. Thank you all so much for coming into the live. I sincerely appreciate you all. Let us move right along. Psalm chapter 48. A song of psalm for the sons of Korah. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in the mountain of his holiness. Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. On the sides of the north, the city of the great king. God is known in her places for a refuge. For lo, the kings were assembled. They passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and hasted away. Fear took hold upon them there, and pain as of a woman in travail. Thou breakest the signs of Tarshish with an east wind. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our God. God will establish it forever. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O God, in the midst of thy temple. According to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. Walk about Zion and go around about her, till tell the towers thereof. Mark ye well her bulwarks, consider her palaces, that he may tell it to the generations following. Verse 14, and this is the last verse of chapter 28. For this God is our God forever. and ever. He will be our guide, even unto death. Here ends the reading of Psalm chapter 48. Welcome into the live, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you who have decided to stop by in the live this morning. Now we are going to move right along as we read Psalm chapter 49. Psalm chapter 49. Hear this, all ye people. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Amen. Now you all remember that those verses that we usually say at the end of a prayer. It's right here. I'm sorry. I'm on the line. Who is this calling me? What's calling me at once? As soon as the day lights out, my phone start ringing. All right, let us continue. Where were we? Verse 4 of chapter 49. I'm sorry for that disturbance, people. I'm sorry, my friends. Let us move on. Psalm chapter 49. Hear this, all ye people. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor, together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline mine ear to a parable. I will open my dark saying upon the heart. Wherefore shall I fare in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heels shall compass me about? They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can be by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceaseth forever, that he should still live forever, and not see corruption. For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others. There it is. No matter who you are, whether you are rich or poor, we all die. No matter what you have, we all die. And when we die, whatever wealth we have, it's left to somebody else. That is so true. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Ain't that true? Because remember, when we were reading in the book of Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, all those books that we were reading before, when one individual, I'm going to say capture because that's really what I want to say. Captures a plot of land. They named that plot of land after themselves. While Rich, how are you doing, my brother? So good to see you. Yard Foods, how are you doing, my sister? Good to see you. They would call the lands after their names. Benjamin, Joshua, If you go back and you listen to the readings or you read it yourself, you will see they call the lands themselves by their own names so that it can be known across the board that this is my land, because this land is called Trev. That's like on YouTube. You call your channel by your name. So you're laying your markers on your territory so nobody else can claim it. And it will go from generation to generation. I don't know why YouTube came to mind, but that's just what came to my mind. And so as we have been reading, we have seen where the descendants of the children of Israel, the descendants of the children of Israel, as they had gone about and captured different pieces of land, they would call the lands by their name. And that would mean that whenever anyone referred to that land by that name, they would know that the inhabitants of that land were descendants of a particular child of Israel. And it will be passed down from generation to generation. Good morning, the amazing M&G is here. How are you doing, my dear sister? Good to see you. Welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by as always. It's my absolute pleasure to be here with you all this morning, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. You know, the school already saying they're closing the school. What? There isn't even any wind, just a nice cool breeze coming in. Schools are already closing. Why? I don't know. Let me see who says this. Well, who says I was listening, however, I don't want to question God about that. Well, we are not doing the questioning, well, Rich. We are doing the reading. It is the children of Israel. It is the remnants of the children of Israel who are doing the questioning here. We are just reading. We ain't questioning. We are reading their questions here. They are concerned about what's going on with the social structure that was established for them by their forefathers. It's all gone. Everything has been dismantled. Let us continue. We are on to verse 12 of chapter 49 of the book of Psalm. So read along with us, gentle people. Verse 12 says, "Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beasts that perish. This their way is their folly, yet their posterity approve their sayings. Like sheep they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning. And their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dies, he shall carry nothing away with him. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he lived, he blessed his soul, and men will praise thee when thou doest well to thyself. He shall go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see light." Verse 20, and this is the last verse of chapter 49. "Man that is in honor and understands not is like the beasts that perish." If you don't understand yourself as a man, if you don't understand yourself and understand how to behave as a man, knowing that when you die, you go to the lands of your fathers, your forefathers, that's the land of death. That's where your forefathers are now. you go and join them and a new generation take over, then you are like the beasts. Because the beasts have no understanding of their existence or their death. They have absolutely no understanding. So if you as a human being have no understanding, do not embrace your understanding of the fact that you are human and that you will take nothing with you when you die. Then you are like the beast that dies and just disappears. Beast just dies and there's nothing after that. But not so with man. Let me see who is in the chat. While Rich is here, amazing MO Cad is here. I was saying hello to Letitia. That means Tisha is here and I didn't see her. Hey Tisha, what's up? How are you doing, my darling sister? Good to see you. Where are they? Here I'm looking for. Oh yeah, Tisha. Oh, did I see you before? Oh, good morning, my dear sister. Good morning. I hope you're having a great morning, my love. I hope everybody's having a great morning. Let us continue. Psalm chapter 50. Come on, guys, read along with me. Psalm chapter 50. This is a psalm of Asaph. The mighty God, even the Lord, hath spoken and called the earth from the rising of the sun until the going down thereof. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, God hath shined. Our God shall come and shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. He shall call to the heavens from above, and to the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice, and the heavens shall declare his righteousness, for God is judge himself. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel, and I will testify against thee. I am God, even thy God. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings to have been continually before me. I will take no bullock out of thy house, nor he goats out of thy folds. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell thee, for the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. Will I eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of goats? Offer unto God thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. But unto the wicked God said, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee. When thou sawest the thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. These things hast thou done, and I kept silent. Thou touchest, though. Why the Bible is written like this? Anywho, I'm going to boil some bananas and pumpkin. Oh my God. All right, Sister Evan G. We are on to verse 21 of Psalm chapter 50. These things hast thou done, and I kept silent. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee, and set them in order before thine eyes. Now consider this, he that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. Psalm 23, and this is the last, verse 23, and this is the last verse of chapter 50. Whosoever offers praise glorifies me, and to him that orders his conversation aright will I shew the salvation of God. Here ends the reading of Psalm chapter 50. All right, Sister M&G said the daylight out so early, she not get enough sleep. OMG. Well, hold on, people. Let me see. Let me see what the school is saying. Oh my God, too little bit of rain. A little bit of rain fall. Little bit of rain fall, and the people them already are closed down school. Like seriously, people. And then what parents supposed to do when you know close down school and children are suddenly gonna be home by themselves? Ain't that something? Okay, I'm not sure what they want of me, but anyway, let me continue. Let me continue the reading here, my people. Let's move on to Psalm chapter 51. The foreword on Psalm chapter 51 to the chief musician, a psalm of David, when Nathan the prophet came unto him after he had gone in to Bathsheba. Okay, this is supposed to be an interesting psalm since the foreword says it's for the chief musician, a psalm of David, when Nathan the prophet came unto him after he had gone in to Bathsheba. Now, if you all remember, that that part of the Bible where David was envious of Uriah for his wife Bathsheba, David stayed in his house and he saw a woman taking a bath, a beautiful woman. He sent his servants to find out who that woman was. They came back and told him that that woman was Bathsheba and that she was the wife of Uriah. And David, with his promiscuous self, told them to bring the woman unto him. And they brought the woman unto David, and David slept with her and sent her back to her husband. David sent and called Uriah, and David conspired with Joab for the death of Uriah. And he sent Uriah with a letter to go give to Joab. And in that letter, David had written that Joab should put Uriah in the front of the next battle so that Uriah could be killed, so that he, David, would take Bathsheba for himself, because he couldn't take Bathsheba for himself while Uriah was still alive. Okay, so now, and Nathan, the prophet at the time, Nathan, the prophet at the time, had spoken to David about what he had done. So this should be an interesting chapter. And that is why I say all the time that it is so unfair for you to just pick up the Bible and just read one verse or just one chapter before you have read the entire book. Because now that I have read the entire book, I can understand what chapter 51 is about to talk about. What about those people who are just opening the Bible and reading a psalm and just reading this, but they have never heard the story about David and Uriah? They have never heard the story of David and Bathsheba. They'll just be reading here, just reading, not knowing where the content came from. Michael is in the house. Michael, how are you doing? I mean, if me not sleep. Me say, let me tell you something, Mike. I do sleep. And let me tell you something. Last night, sleep. Me tell you something. Hold on. Yeah, man, sleep have a way of knocking me down when it's ready. Because I think I go for long periods without sleep, and then the sleep just pitch me over somewhat. Let me see what card says. Card says, so shouldn't number 5 apply to this situation? Card is talking about Numbers chapter 5. For those of you who don't know what Numbers chapter 5 says, Numbers chapter 5, go back and read it if you will, but Numbers chapter 5 talks about God telling Moses that if a man is suspicious that his wife has slept with another man, he should bring his wife to the priest. And the priest is going to make some kind of portion that is going to like scrape up the dirt off the ground of the tabernacle and do some stuff. Just mix up some things, and some kind of a bitter water, the Bible calls it. Some kind of a bitter water. And he's going to wash this scroll in it, and he's going to put it in the woman's hand, and he's going to declare that the woman has slept with another man, and the woman have to agree and say amen, amen. And if she had slept with another man and she drinks this bitter water, it's supposed to rotten out her belly. I don't mean say so people of the Bible. You not go say Trev say, you not go read Numbers chapter 5. It said that the Lord did to Moses, him say, if the man suspect that his wife has slept with another man, must carry her to the priest. And the priest is going to make this bitter portion, and she's going to agree. And the husband will pay the priest 1/5 time what it is worth. And if the woman drinks this bitter water and she has slept with another man, her belly going rotten out. But if she had not slept with another man, her husband is just delusional, thinking that she had, and she drinks this bitter water, it's not going to affect her. She's going to go on to be able to have babies, to be pregnant and have babies for her husband. So that is like, I don't know how in Jamaica they say spin the key, Bible and key. If you do something, how they call it, by St. Peter, by St. Paul. If I might thief the chicken. I tell you people, that's why I tell you it's just so important to read the Bible for yourself. Because the Bible has some things in it You wouldn't believe if me sitting here and telling you that something like that in the Bible, I can see some of you rolling your eyes and turning your head up and say, what the hell Trev is talking about? Well, open your Bible to Numbers chapter 5 and read it for yourself and come back and tell me what you see. Because that's what Numbers chapter 5 talk about. So here God is saying, shouldn't that apply to Numbers chapter 5? Because Bathsheba went ahead and slept with David. But I guess Uriah wasn't suspicious at the time. And I guess David was so powerful, Uriah probably suspected but didn't want to say anything, because you see, those communities were so close knit that everybody knew where everybody was, everybody knew what was going on. And there is no way that Bathsheba could have entered into David's palace and have gone into David's private chambers and have slept with David, and none of the servants didn't know, none of the guards didn't know, nobody knew anything, nobody said anything to Uriah. I don't think so. And I believe Uriah thought that David was so powerful that he was willing to share Bathsheba with David. But David wanted Bathsheba for himself. And so he wanted to make sure he eliminated Uriah from the equation completely. So if Uriah taken Bathsheba to David, ain't that something? To taking Bathsheba mean to the priest to find out if she had slept with somebody else, and she drank that bitter water, then her belly would swell and rot, and she would never be able to have children. Ain't that something? Let us continue. Let's see who else is in the chat. Who else is in the chat? Grant is in the place. Grant, good morning. I guess he was in a situation of damn if I do and damn if I don't. Exactly. Uriah was indeed in that situation. And I guess he probably didn't want to have to do, whether if he knew. So here I am talking hypothetically. So if Uriah knew that David had slept with his wife Bathsheba, and Uriah wanted to be ugly, then he could have brought Bathsheba to the priest to say to the priest, I suspect that my wife has slept with somebody else. And then the priest, per their tradition, would be obligated to perform this Bible and key stunt with Bathsheba. And if Bathsheba had drunk that bitter water, as the Bible calls it, then her belly would swell and rot, and she would be able to have children. So there would be no Solomon. There would be no Solomon. Boy, I tell you, the Bible has a way, is written in such a way that you can't escape it. Mike says, Trev, I'm going to run you while I work. No problem, my darling. No problem, my sweetheart. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you so much. Okay, guys, so we are going to be reading Psalm chapter 51, which is written about the visit of Nathan, because Nathan visited David at the time when this happened, and he spoke sternly to David about what he had done. Remember, Nathan was a prophet, and Nathan spoke sternly to David about what he had done. And even in the latter chapters after that, it said that the Lord loved David and thought David was one of the greatest kings, etc. But he said there was only one thing that David did wrong, and it was what he did to Uriah. God says, but remember the child conceived in that union died. It's not until he gets married to Bathsheba then they produced Solomon. Oh yeah, I even had forgotten that. Thanks for that reminder, Card. Thanks for that reminder. So could it have been then therefore that um she had drunk the bitter water and that's why that child had died? Could it be that what that was? Because that's a possibility. But the Bible probably just didn't say it. But that's a possibility that Uriah was suspicious and Bathsheba had was made to drink that bitter water to prove whether or not she had been an unfaithful wife, and that's why the first child had died. That's a possibility. But the Bible didn't tell us. And we know there are lots of things that are eliminated from the Bible. So it's possible. But you remember that later on she did give birth to Solomon. All right, let us move right along, gentle people. We are on to verse 51 of we are on to chapter 51, I should say, of the book of Psalms. So follow along with me in your book Bible or your Google Bible. Have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according unto thy multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee, thee only, have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight. Thou hast that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Lord, whiter than snow. Lord, wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Another song that comes from the Psalm. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. Hide thy face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto thee. Deliver me from blood guiltiness, O God, thou God of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of thy righteousness. O Lord, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall shew forth thy praise. For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it. Thou delightest not in burnt offering. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O Lord, O God, thou wilt not despise. Do good in thy good pleasure unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem. Verse 19, and this is the last verse of chapter 51. Then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar. So that's why they sing the song, bitter water, oh Lord, Oh, I don't know that song, sister. Huh. No, my love, I do not know that song. I never heard a song made about bitter water, bitter water. But it does exist in Numbers chapter 5. It does exist. The instance where I just talk about of God giving Moses the instructions about how to deal with a man who is concerned about his wife, whether or not his wife cheated on him. AG says, so I'm back now. You back, AG? What's up? What are you doing? Listen, Walrich, it is not for the man to drink. That is the funny thing. It is not for the man to drink. It is for the woman. It is for the woman to drink the bitter water. But imagine if you know that you are cheated. If you know that you are cheated and you drank that bitter water, you know exactly what's going to happen to you. But if you know that you hadn't cheated and you drink the bitter water, you know nothing is going to happen to you because you hadn't cheated. But imagine you knew deep down in your heart that you were cheated, and now you are being forced to drink this bitter water, knowing that it's going to cause your belly to swell, and it's going to cause your thighs to rot, and it's going to cause you to miscarry if you are pregnant. Well, we say, what would happen if the woman refused? Then if the woman refused, that means that she's guilty. Don't you think that's what they would say? Yeah, they would have probably stoned her to do, you know what I mean? If she refused, because that would mean that she is guilty because she knows what the consequences are going to be for drinking that water. So if she drank it and knowing that she had been unfaithful, she knows what's going to happen. But if she refused to drink it, that would be an indication that she knows that she's guilty, and therefore that's why she's refusing. So they would probably order her to be stoned. I don't know. I hear that song when I go to bed yard. Yeah. Sister Emma G says she hear that bitter water song when she go to bed yard. Well, you see, I have never heard it. So I don't know, my dear sister, but that's what the Bible says about the bitter water. All right. So when this life is over, not this life, this life is over, you all can go back and read Numbers chapter 5, and you will see what I'm talking about. Psalm chapter 52. This morning we are in luck today, and we are going on to chapter 54. Ain't that something? And then tomorrow we will move on to chapter 55. You know, the book of Psalm is long. Until October, we're going to still be reading the book of Psalm. Trust me. We are going to still be reading the book of Psalm even into October. Let us continue, guys. Psalm chapter 52. The foreword says, to the chief musician, Mashiach, a psalm of David, when Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul, and said unto him, David is come to the house of Ahimelech. Why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? Oh, this is what they said to David. You know, remember David was the most powerful man at the time, and he had come to the house of Ahimelech. Now they say to David, why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of God endureth continually. Thy tongue deviseth mischiefs, like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. God shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away, and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place, and root thee out of the land of the living. The righteous also shall see and fear, and shall laugh at him. Lo, this is the man that made not God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the mercy of God forever and ever. Verse 9, and this is the last verse of chapter 52. I will praise thee forever, because thou hast done it, and I will wait on thy name, for it is good before thy saints. Here ends the reading of Psalm chapter 52. And we're going to move on to Psalm chapter 53. So come along, guys. Read along with me. Follow along with me in your book Bible or your Google Bible. And let's read along. Psalm chapter 53. To the chief musician upon Mahalath, Michael, the Psalm of David. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. Corrupt are they, and have done abominable iniquity. There is none that doeth good. God looks down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand, that did seek God. Every one of them is gone back. They are altogether become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Have the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread? They have not called upon God. There were they in great fear, where no fear was, for God hath scattered the bones of him that encampeth against thee. Thou hast put them to shame, because God hath despised them. Verse 6, and this is the last verse of chapter 53. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion, when God bringeth back the captivity of his people. Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. The author there is what I might want to say, sort of daydreaming about when God shall cause all of Israel to come back together. All the children of the descendants, all the descendants of the tribes of Israel would come back together and reestablish the kingdom of Israel. It says they will be glad. So it is something that they are expecting to happen in the future when this poem was written. And now we are going to move on to Psalm chapter 54. And this is the last chapter that we are reading for today. Psalm chapter 54. The foreword says, to the chief musicians of Neginath, Mashiel, a psalm of David, when the Zephims came and said to Saul, doth not David hide himself with us? Psalm chapter 54. Save me, O God, by thy name, and judge me by thy strength. Hear my prayer, O God, Give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers are risen up against me, and oppressors seek after my soul. They have not set God before them. Behold, God is my helper. The Lord is with them that uphold my soul. He shall reward evil unto mine enemies. Cut them off in thy truth. I will freely sacrifice unto thee. I will praise thy name, O Lord, for it is good. For he hath delivered me out of all trouble, and mine eye hath seen his desire upon mine enemies. Here ends the reading of Psalm chapter 54. Wow, my sister Michibu is in the place. Michibu is here. Michibu, what's up? How are you doing, my love? So good to see you. Hold on, I don't know what's wrong with this phone. This phone is just not acting right at all. Not at all. But Michibu, I'm glad to see you, my dear. Well, that means I search you recently. Good to see you, my dear. I hope you're having a great Thursday morning. Oh, it's Thursday night for you now, right? I think. I think it's Thursday. It would be Thursday night for you right now. I sincerely appreciate you, my love. I sincerely appreciate you. I am here. Where there? I was looking. You're tired. Oh my God. I can understand. Hold on, but it's night for you now, right? Oh yeah, yeah. As we are on opposite sides of time. Bless up yourself, my darling. Me just want to make sure, so me see where you cook last. Um, what is wheatgrass juice for your skin? Oh, then all this did miss me. Let me see if I watch it already. I don't think so. Let me take a look here, Michibu. Let me take a look here. Mike, say hi to my sister Michibu there. She is in the land down under. She is in the land down under. Oh, I haven't watched it yet because yeah, 5 months. That me see. Since it does not the like button was not touched, that means I may not watch it yet. Cause y'all know anytime you watch one video, only time me not hit the like button is if I have left the person running on one of my devices. But as long as my eyes go on your video, I hit the like button. Yeah. Yeah, me not think me watch it yet. The phone and I keep not responding to the internet, and I'm not sure why. Oops, sorry. Okay. All right. So I will watch it. I will watch that one. Don't worry yourself, my love. I love to share myself. I am here. I sit here and I read and several people come into my live and people comment, and sometimes I don't get back to them like in a timely manner. I am busy always running around doing something of the sort. And so I want to share my time with y'all as well, because this is not a one-way street now. White, you're tired of me say. Me say, I me still there kill up myself. I tired out myself on white, white not even white treat me like a piece of gum on his shoe. But it is okay. It is all right. It is all right. Life goes on, and we ain't stressing ourselves. But what YT is doing. Then where you get this a wheatgrass here from Michi. Oh yeah? Me say, if you see a YT do me just say, something is a good thing, so me have thick skin. Me not even pay them no man. It's a good thing, say, me not give up so easily, or else me that just shut down the channel and go about my business. But that's not gonna be good for my mental health. Cause I'm sorry to hear of your situation. How you feeling now? Oh, Michi Boost have a bite at the organic market. I wish part that day. Me have to go. I think there's no Whole Foods near me. Hold on there. Let me take a look here and see if come in. I don't know when no organic market there near me. I bush me living on Michi Boo. Oh, would that be at Whole Foods? Whole Foods near me. Let me see. What Whole Foods might let me see. What you saw, the closest Whole Foods to me is 35 and a half miles away, they say. Oh my gosh. The closest Whole Foods to me. Whole Foods, they are up rally where everybody come and stop. Me live a bush, so not Whole Foods not gonna be here. So and if it not they down a Fayetteville, which is the closest big town to me, it not they nowhere. Uh-uh. But everything can be found online, so you never know. You never know. But that is you don't want to stop YT. No man, no stop. All the time it come to my mind, so if you just go, I'm just saying to myself, so you know something, I'm putting so much time and effort and energy into it. And even if that's why it don't even bother me that YT took away my monetization. It don't bother me. I still come and I still do my videos and do my lives and chat with my friends and stuff like that. Because for me it is my form of therapy, to be honest. Yeah, it is my form of therapy. Imagine me not having anybody to talk to, just being here all by myself, not reaching out on the internet to anybody, just being here by myself. Imagine that, considering how this brain of mine works. Yeah, that could be overwhelming. And so I still come. Regardless of what YT thinks or does, I still come. So that's it. It's a good thing I don't wait on YT to feed me. Because if I wait on YT to feed me, me that dead for hungry. You understand? Because with all the foolishness that they be doing and that they keep doing, I'm just like, something. Let these people just go rest themselves. All right? Yeah. Mm. Yeah, so that is what it is. Mike says, Michibu, you already start. You can't stop now, keep the fighting. Yeah. Yeah, man, we have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing. I mean, a whole heap of time, I just feel like just cut it out. But anyway, but we will continue. We will continue one day at a time. One day at a time. Yeah, sometimes we gotta take a pause take a mental health break and stuff like that. If that's what we need, we gotta do it. But don't give up. But don't give up. All right. Let me see who else is in the chat. I want to say thanks to everybody who came into the live this morning. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Those of you who have commented, those of you who are my almost everybody here this morning have been my constant means of my constant source of strength. I appreciate you all for coming in. I appreciate you. Michibu down under, guys. If you ain't connected with my sister Michibu yet, go ahead and connect with her. Anybody else in the chat who is going to who have not with whom you have not yet connected, go ahead. Connect with them. There are lots of content creators in the chat. Michibu and Mike and Yard Foods, the amazing M&G, AG Born Jamaica. Wow, who else was here as a content creator? Just go down the chat, guys, and find the content creators in the chat and connect with them, please. There is my brother Wild Rich, also is a content creator. I think I said Yard Foods already, the amazing M&G. Go ahead and connect with them. Mike, yeah, I live a country. Where I live is in the bushes. In the bushes, for real. That's where I live. It's starting to develop compared to when I came here 10 years ago. Yeah, I'm surprised. Since I came here 10 years ago, a Walmart has come. When I came here, there was only a Food Lion. There was only a Food Lion, and the CVS had just opened that same. CVS and I came here at the same time. I came here, I saw the Food Lion, I saw the Family Dollar, I saw the Subway when I came here. And I think that was it. Well, now we have a Biscuitville, we have a Wendy's, we have Taco Bell, we have McDonald's, we have KFC, we have a UPS postal place we can go post stuff. We have a Sheetz gas station that was open like 2 years ago. We have another gas station that was open like 6 years ago. Yeah, so the place is developing, and we got a Walmart. Yeah, we got a Walmart like 4 years ago. Yeah. So well. Oh, you are so welcome, Tisha. Tisha says, thanks, Trev, for reading the Bible for us. You are so welcome, my love. You are absolutely welcome. It's my absolute pleasure reading the Bible for us. The Bible has so much quality content. The content is not really huge. It's just that we have not read it. It's just that we have not read it. Okay. I just have got a text. Someone asked me something. Okay, I'll get back to that person. It's weird that back to the person's asking something. But anyway. But and this is I thought I was the only person in the book. Girl, you never know the Bush the America too. Yeah. I live in a place that is not fully developed, not a big town, just a new town, just like 10 years ago they established this place. Yeah. That's what it is. And really it's nice and peaceful. I feel safe and comfortable right here because at least I'm not in the heart of Fayetteville. You know, Fayetteville is a place that is a fearsome place. At least I'm not down there where there are break-ins and car thefts and that kind of thing all the time. And where I live, I have a lot of military people around. Kind of make me feel safe, even though you can't let your guards down. But Mike says I'm not perfect. I remember I took a break for 7 months. Reason being, I was taking care of personal issues. But after I came back, there is no turning back for me. I'm bloody on me. Mike, you know what? You are something else. You are something else. All right, Mitchy Boo, good night, my love. Have yourself a great night, and I will see you. I will see you some other time, my love. I will continue to watch some more videos of yours later on today. So whether take away your monetization, well, according to YouTube, them send me reuse video, brother. I saw the other explanation they give me them send me reuse video, so them take on my monetization. And I find it really odd. I think it was more personal because I have gone through my videos and I don't see anything that is egregious on it that goes against any of YouTube's policies. So I don't know, but they have given me a chance to appeal it. Oh no, he's calling. I mean, something is wrong. Well, on the people, may I cut off the light? I need to answer. Okay, guys, me come back. I just had to answer that question. I completely forgot that because there is a threat of inclement weather that because there's a threat of inclement weather, so my job is calling around to find out if everybody is okay. Yeah. So anyway, so Mike, yeah, so they had given me a chance. July 4th, I think, respond was to respond to the demonetization, to appeal it. I didn't meet that deadline. It was not a priority for me. It was not on my priority list. So I just YouTube yourself. Yeah. So they said, oh, then I cannot appeal again. I cannot submit another appeal until September 12th. Child, please. Yeah. So that is that. And since then, back then I had like 1,000 and something subscribers, and since then I have grown. Now me they are like 4.6 or something like that. So YouTube has really shot me in the foot. but but it is what it is. You see what I read in the Bible this morning? What humans have to understand is that when we live, when we die, we take nothing with us. We go to the land of our forefathers from which we do not return. And if we do not understand that, then we are like the animals. So guess what? I understand. Oh Jesus, people know. So me go up on the street yesterday and forget to buy the battery. Oh Lord. Now I go back on the street today, but me didn't want to go back at the store today, but I have to go buy the battery because I need some AA batteries. Yeah. Yeah, so that is the deal. Exactly, Tisha. Exactly. I'm not making nothing give me no, especially YouTube, give me no high blood pressure. Because that's what YouTube set out for. If it give you nothing but high blood pressure. I mean, I want no high blood pressure from them. So I just do what me have to do. And there's one person I haven't seen in a minute. My dear friend, Mikey Laugh. Who I've seen Mikey Laugh in a minute. I haven't seen her in a minute. Let me see, Mikey laugh. Hold on. I haven't seen her in a minute. We need to text her. Oh, but she live on the east side of I don't understand. No hurricane. The hurricane has not bothered the people on the eastern side of Florida. But I saw a trajectory for the hurricane that it is going to loop over, um, go across North Florida and then go back out into the Atlantic and come back. Well, let me see what my darling is doing here. All right, that video I saw that a month ago. Videos that was a month ago. Okay, oh here she is on a cruise. Okay, that's how it is when people just ooh, 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 ooh. When people just pop up in my mind. When my friends pop up in my mind, I go to hunt them down to see what is going on, to see what is going on their channel, so I can share the love and share the support and share myself with my friends. Okay, that is Mikey laughs. I gotta give her a couple of minutes, a couple of minutes of my time. Yes, guys. So that is where we are going to end the live for this morning. We will come back later on. It is almost 8 o'clock. Yeah. But that is where we are going to end the live for this morning. Once again, thanks to everybody who came into the live. I sincerely appreciate you all. I hope you all go ahead and have yourself a great day. And as for my sister Michibu, have yourself a great night, my love. Amazing Emma and G, be safe out there on the street as you go out to work. And my sister Letitia, Card, my brothers AG, Joseph, Albert, and Rich and everybody else who came into the chat. Letitia and Mike and my brother Mike. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. Be safe out there. If you are living in low-lying areas, please be safe. If you have to evacuate, please do so. If you don't have to evacuate, please take security measures seriously and be safe because the weather is so unpredictable these days. All right, that's going to be it from me for now, my friends. Until next time, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. Let me see what's going on. I need to make this thing. Let me see.